Hello beautiful people, it's Nita, and today we're back with another girl chat video. Today we are talking about confidence. So I'm going to share with you guys my personal journey with confidence and self-love in hopes that it does help you to go on your own self-love journey or confidence, because I'm asked about that. It's probably the number two. First is shapewear, and then after that I am asked about confidence in my comments and DMs a lot, or sometimes lack thereof. And so I wanted to share my personal journey in hopes that it helps you guys and inspires you to become confident yourself, because you should be. So without further ado, let's get into today's girl chat. So since this is more of a chit chat and less about the makeup, I'm not going to be discussing the makeup that I'm using, but I will have everything linked in the description box as well. And I will also link this lounge set if you're interested in the description box as well. So the brushes, all of that will be in the description box, because I'm not going to be talking about the makeup, more so about our topic, which is confidence. So I'm just going to be sharing with you guys my personal journey with confidence and self-worth in hopes that, you know, it helps you guys out, because of course nobody can tell you how to be confident, really. You know, so I think that's definitely a personal thing. I think this is just something that you have to figure out for yourself. So I'm just hoping that through sharing my journey that it helps you guys. I know I'm looking real ghostly right now, but trust the process. All right, so I have always been a plus size girl, chunky, heavy set, oversized, husky, whatever you want to call it. All of my life, I've never been skinny, I've never been thin, I've never been even just like regular size, whatever regular is to you. I've always been a plus size, fat, chunky, overweight girl, all of my life, literally. So I, you know, just kind of got used to being overweight, heavy, etc. But my lack of confidence, when I had lack of confidence, did stem from my weight, because that's the thing that people made fun of, and that's the thing that people would talk about is, oh, she's pretty for a fat girl, or oh, she's pretty in the face, or oh, you would look so much better if you lost weight, you know, those types of comments. And so I'd always, you know, had a complex about my weight. And so the way I dealt with it growing up, and even like in college and in my early 20s, is, you know, I was just like, you know what, they can call me fat, but they ain't gonna say I ain't dressed cute. They ain't gonna say I'm not put together. They won't be able to say anything else about me. The only thing they'll be able to say is that I'm fat, because I'm cute, I'm dressed nice, I smell good, my hair is laid, all of the things. So I have always leaned into looking nice and, you know, fashion and all that kind of stuff. And I was just naturally talented with hair. So I've always kind of, you know, just tried to make sure that I looked nice and I was dressed nice, so that, again, you know, you can call me fat, but that's literally all you're going to be able to say. I'm going to smell good, I'm going to look good. So that was like my way of, you know, combating my feelings about being overweight, until I got to, I think I was maybe 23 or 24 years old when I decided to have weight loss surgery. And I have a few videos on this, so you can scroll back on the channel and look. It's old. I had surgery 7 years ago, so this is nothing new or recent, and I did not have a YouTube channel or platform at that time. But anyway, so I was about, I think this was 7 years ago when I had, so I was what, 25? No, I was 28 when I had surgery. But when I really tried to truly lose weight, I was about 23 years old. I started having back pain, back problems. If you guys don't know, I was a full-time hairstylist. So at that time I worked like 14, 16-hour days. You know, and I would go from the shop out partying, like all of that good stuff. But I started having back problems between standing on my feet at work, even like just walking the mall or something like that. I would have back problems. Now, for a person who is just active, on the go, kicking and hanging out, that ain't cool. And I was in my early 20s, so that's what kind of prompted me to really start trying to lose weight. Of course, I tried diets before, like, you know, in high school and stuff, but I never stuck with it. And then also, thank God, I wasn't raised in a family who, in a household where my weight was the focus. If I wanted to lose weight, my mom would help me and encourage me, but if I wasn't talking about it, they didn't press me on it. So growing up, it was nothing that I really truly tried until I hit my 20s, and my weight started to really just affect like my quality of life per se. So I did the yo-yo diet thing up until like I said, at 28, I decided to have weight loss surgery, because I was just tired of the yo-yo, and the back problems were really, really getting to me. I would literally have to take BC powder at work to I would have to take BC powder at work to just like maintain and like stay on my feet to finish my clients without like breaking down crying because my back hurts so bad. So that is kind of what prompted my journey to self-confidence, because before I had kind of gotten away with a false sense of self-confidence with the clothes and the this and the that. They'll be able to call me fat, but they won't say nothing else, right? That was like my false confidence, which I didn't realize it was false at the time, but it was working. So disrespectful. But it was working and I made do with it. So when I had weight loss surgery, that was a very pivotal moment because it was kind of scary for me to think of drastically losing weight because, again, I'd never been thin. I've never been small. I've always been a bigger, heavier, chunkier girl. So I was afraid of what I would look like. I was afraid of, would I like the way I look smaller? How would I look? It was just an unknown territory. So as my weight continued to change and shift and, the unknown was like real. And if you've had weight loss surgery or any kind of, I think, drastic change in your physical appearance, whether it's your skin or your hair or your nail, whatever the case may be, at least for me, it did kind of wear on my psyche because, again, I've never been small. So after, again, I was just unsure of how it would look. And I think it's easier for people who were smaller in high school or smaller in their 20s and you're trying to get back to this place. I'd never been at that place. So it was just like, how am I going to look and am I going to like it? So that's really what prompted my journey to confidence and self-esteem, because I was at a place where I could not place my self-esteem and confidence in my weight. I couldn't place it in clothing. I couldn't place it in anything fake. That was a time where I really had to dig deep and say, look, here, sis, you can't say, oh, I'm confident today because I look like this or because I have on these clothes or because I comb my hair this way. Like, that's so fake and superficial. And I'm not, of course, when you look good, you feel good, right? We all do. But, that's just when I really took the time to just examine where my confidence lied. I don't know what, I'm not going to say what I was about to say, I don't know what it was about that journey, but it was just that weight loss journey that really prompted me to dig deep and figure out where my confidence came from, because it could not come from anything external because my external was changing so much. I was losing weight. I couldn't even really depend on my clothes because when you're losing weight like that, like, you don't want to continue to buy clothes every time you change a size. So a lot of times clothes would be too big. I didn't really know what size I was wearing. But if you've ever been on a weight loss journey or something like that, there's that in-between phase where it's like you don't have nothing to wear. Everything's too big. And it's kind of like, you're still losing weight. So you don't want to go shopping and buy new clothes because you're only going to wear them for so long and all of that kind of stuff. So again, that's what made me say, okay, look, we're in this in-between, we don't know phase. And, my confidence really waned during that time. It was up and down. It depended on my weight that day, how I felt about myself. And then also during that process of having loose skin and all of the things and just being constantly worried about what I was looking like, it just really weighed on my mental. And I just got to a point where I was like, okay, look, I cannot depend on the way I look. My confidence is going to have to come from somewhere else. And that's, again, I think what kind of woke me up to the fact that I had been living my life on a sense of false confidence. Again, my hair, my clothes, my this, my that. So they can't say nothing else about me, and it's like, it doesn't matter what they say. What do you believe about yourself? And that's what prompted me to really dig deep. And so that's exactly what I did. I am a Christian, if you didn't know. I believe in God. And so if you are a believer, or if you don't know, our confidence is supposed to come from who God says we are, because he made us and he created us. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. So I did go in the Bible and I got different affirmations about who God says I am. And I would say those every day. And then I also just wrote down affirmations myself, like, I have a good heart. I'm kind. I'm this, I'm that. Just different affirmations and things that I loved about myself. And when I had those negative thoughts, or when I was looking in the mirror and didn't like the way I was looking, or I was just confused about what was happening with my body, I would literally just say those things about myself. Now, I know that sounds very cliche, and it's like, these affirmations are saying this is not going to help in the moment. And I get it. It was not a quick fix. It literally took me constantly just saying and believing that it would help, because as I talk to people, at that time I wasn't in therapy. I wish I was, and I definitely needed it. But at the time, I wasn't really privy to therapy, and it also wasn't as prevalent, or people didn't talk about it as much as they do now. Also, because I paid for my surgery myself, I was not required to have, I wasn't required to have psychological or talk to a therapist. Most people who have weight loss surgery through insurance, they do require you to have a certain amount of therapy sessions. But I wasn't required to do that, and I didn't. So, but of course, now looking back, I wish that I would have been required, or I wish that I would have known to even do so, because that definitely would have helped. Anyhow, but yeah, I just really got tired of the constant yo-yo. I got tired of my confidence and the way I felt about myself changing as my body changed, because that's literally what was happening. One day I would be like, "Ooh, I lost this much weight, I'm looking good." One day I'd be like, "Ooh, this loose skin, I don't like it." One day I'd be like, "Oh, I can't, oh, my clothes don't fit, I don't like the way I'm looking." No. And like I said, my confidence would just dip and rise and dip and rise, depending on what I was looking like that day, if I had clothes that fit that day, or whatever have you. And I was just tired of it. And that's what, like I said, prompted me to dig deeper. So yeah, affirmations helped. That was one of the biggest things. And then outside of affirmations, as far as biblical and scripture wise, again, just me finding things that I liked about myself. And that was one of the times that I realized that I really just didn't like myself, because I literally could not find one thing physically that I liked about myself. And that was hard to admit. And I just didn't like that. Like, who wants to not like themselves, right? And okay. So it was very hard for me to admit to myself and be honest that I literally just looked in the mirror and I didn't like nothing. Like, I couldn't give you a thing that I was like, "Oh, I love my legs," or "I love my thighs," or "I love my arms," or my hands, or something. I didn't have a thing. And I just really had to, honestly, again, it was something I prayed about, and it was something that I just had to dig deep and say, "Okay, sis, look, you know, we already know you don't like the weight, but we're working on it and we're changing it. However, your weight is not going to change overnight. You didn't gain weight overnight." Well, I can't say that because I've always been a big girl, but you know, weight, most things that we want to change about ourselves, whether it's your weight, whether it's your teeth, these braces, whether it's your acne, your edges, whatever, it's going to be a process to change it. There's not many things that you can blink or just snap and do and change. I mean, outside of maybe cosmetic surgery, but even with that, there's a process, you know, you got to heal, you know, so there's not many things physically that we can change that you just blink and it's changed. And that's when I just said, okay, look, you know, I'm tired of feeling this way. I understand that I may not like my weight. We're working on that. We're changing that. So are we going to wait until the weight changes to love ourselves, or are we going to love ourselves through the process? And I just literally decided, you know what, I'm going to love myself through the process. So I might not like the way that this looks, but this body has carried me through these things. This body has done X, Y, and Z for me. This body is fine. Like, my skin looks great. At that time, I was having great skin, you know. I have always had acne prone skin, so that's a struggle. But you know, I literally had to find things, okay? It was a struggle to find something to like about myself. Okay, I like the way my skin looks today. I mean, I literally just had to find it, because it was like, look at here. This is what we not gonna do. And then I also had to go back to my affirmations about who God says I was. And if I'm honest, that's when things really started to change. Also, I say this all the time, but it's so true. You are more than how you look. I had to realize I am more than just my outward appearance. It's a piece of who I am, but it's not all that I am. So although I could not look in the mirror and find things that I liked about myself, I loved my personality. I loved my work ethic. I loved my drive and determination. There were other things. I love my hair. I really love my hair. There were just certain things about my personality, my character that I love. So those things. And honestly, outside of me making myself find something physical that I loved about myself, it was the other things that I was like, oh, you know what? I am more than just a pretty face, or I am more than just this external. Like, again, it's a piece of who I am, but it's literally not everything. And I know that especially today in this social media age, we can get caught up. We as women can just get caught up in our looks, because they make, and I say they, make us feel or make it seem like as a woman you are what you look like. But again, it's a piece of who you are, but it is not everything. It is not all that you are. You are not just your looks. You are a full whole person, a full whole being. Looks, personality, heart, character, like all of those things. Like, you're not just what you look like. And that's something that I also had to realize and also had to rely on. Like, looks, this weight is a piece of who I am, but I'm not only the fat girl. Like, okay, I'm the fat girl and I'm X, Y, and Z, you know? So that was one big thing that helped me when, on those days, especially when I just looked in the mirror and I was just like, ugh, disgusted. That was the thing that helped me. Like, okay, you might not like how we're looking today. This is a process, but you are kind. You is kind. You is smart. You is important. If you've seen The Help, you know what that's from. But again, very practical, very simple, may seem cliche, but this is literally what I did, okay? So yeah, by doing those things, eventually I did actually gain confidence. And it just taught me that, I think the biggest lesson I learned through that time of building my worth and confidence is, number one, again, as a Christian woman, my worth, my confidence comes from who God says I am, because that's my everything. Period. Number two, I'm not just my looks. Like, again, it's a piece of who I am. I know it's the first thing people see, but it's literally not all that I am. Looks have never kept a relationship. Looks have never really just made somebody love you genuinely. Looks have never, like, again, it's a piece. It's a nice piece, but it's not all that you are. So it helped me to kind of put my looks and my weight in perspective. As far as, again, my worth and confidence, and not to just put my confidence and everything into the way that I look. This whole process of affirmations and really digging deep and seeing why I feel the way that I feel and all of that. And then I know I'm rambling a bit, just give me a moment, but I also had to realize, like, now, who told you that you were ugly, or who told you that this was undesirable? Do you really care what they think? Now, you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea in life. Again, I know my mom used to always say, everybody's not going to like you. I was also a people pleaser growing up, but that's another story for another day. But my mama always, I think most of our parents tell you, everyone's not going to like you. Again, that's life. You're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Everyone is not going to think you're the most beautiful, fabulous, gorgeous person walking the earth. I don't care how you look. There's always somebody that's like, not really my type. Again, that's normal. That's life. Do you like yourself? Do you love yourself? You got to look at you every day. You got to deal with you every day. You got to wash your body. You got to dress your body. You need to love you. So with that being said, sometimes when I'm telling people about confidence, they're like, well, I mean, you had weight loss surgery. I did. But that doesn't negate the journey that I had to go through with confidence. Losing weight does not automatically give you confidence. I think that's another misconception. I know it's a misconception that I had personally. Again, because my weight was the source of my lack of confidence. For me, it was weight. For you, it may be whatever else. And a lot of times we think, oh, if I didn't have, this belly, oh, if I didn't have this gap in my teeth, oh, if I didn't have this acne, I would just feel so much better. Let me tell you something. Not necessarily. Because when I lost weight, I literally just found other things to pick at about myself. It was like, okay, I lost weight. Oh, I got the skin. Oh, I got some skin removed. Well, now I got this. Oh, fixing my teeth. But now I have, like, you will literally just find something to complain about. Something that you don't like. Something. There will always be something. We're just never satisfied as humans. I just think that's human nature, and as women too. And I think especially now in the age of social media, with them giving us so many images of what we're supposed to look like, or what the new popping hot thing is, or we see our favorite influencer or this celebrity we look up to, or whoever your person is. Well, they're doing this, so they look like this, so I need to look like this. And it's like, no, we are not supposed to walk around looking like Stepford Wives and like we're in the military, okay? There is variety for a reason. You are you, uniquely you, the way you're meant to be. My eyebrows are like doing their own thing today, and I think I'm just gonna let them because I don't even feel like it. That's the only thing about doing these type of videos. Like when I'm talking, I can't concentrate. Nonetheless, so that whole process of affirmations and kind of building and working on my confidence, I would honestly say that whole process took about 2 years, really. A lot of it, once my weight kind of stabilized out. And then also, I just got fed up with feeling a certain way. And I'm just that person. When I'm tired, when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you make a change. Because it's like, look, something has to be better than this. And I knew that there has to be something that's better than me feeling the way that I feel about myself. I did not like the way I felt about myself, and I didn't want to feel that way anymore. So I was literally willing to do whatever I had to do to feel better about myself, to be confident, and also to do the work to learn that my confidence is more than just about the way I look. And I'm glad I did that because, again, talking about weight, because that's always been the source of my lack of confidence. Even though I had weight loss surgery and I lost weight, I got down to my lowest, I got some skin removed, and then I got pregnant. So during my pregnancy, I didn't gain any weight, but afterwards I have, because I don't have the same eating habits. I don't have a trainer anymore. I'm not doing the things that I used to do. And then life just changed. My life changed. And so it's just now that I'm getting back to a place of kind of figuring out, I guess, a new balance. So it's just, life is life be lifing. And things are going to change as we get older. We're not going to look the same way forever. So again, that's another reason why I had to learn, and why we should all learn as women, that you can't place your whole confidence in the way you look. And I stress that because most of the messages that I get, or most women that talk to me about their lack of confidence, it has something to do with their look, especially weight, because I am, a plus size or mid size, whatever, fashion influencer. And so I mostly gravitate towards those ladies mostly gravitate towards me. And, I fully understand. And I think a lot of times, because when I started my platform, that work was already done, which I am thankful that work was done, because I couldn't do that work and do this job. Would not work. But I think that people be like, well, you don't understand, or you don't get it, or you don't feel the way I feel, or you don't look like me. And it's like, first of all, I don't have to look like you, just because I don't look like you doesn't mean that I don't have issues and problems. It doesn't mean that I don't have my days where I lack confidence, or I don't feel a way about myself. Even now, with all of the work that I did, there are some days that I still have to pull myself up by the bootstraps. There are some days that I still have to pull out my affirmations. Who does God say I am? Who do I say I am? What do you think about yourself? Doesn't matter what this random person on YouTube or Instagram or whatever says. Because, right now, that's my job. I'm in the public eye, in a sense, and I get those comments, inboxes, DMs all the time, literally every day. Outside of that, even in life, everybody doesn't think that I'm the most fabulous thing walking. Not to say that you guys do or anything like that. I'm just saying, even though that's how I feel about myself, because I am, everyone does not feel that way about me. Everyone is not going to feel that way about me. And I'm just glad that I did take the time to work on myself and figure that out, so that it doesn't matter if anyone comes and affirms me. It doesn't matter if anyone comes and tells me that I'm beautiful, that I'm gorgeous, that I look great. It does not matter. I don't have to get another positive comment from another person. Although it's great, I know who I am. I know who I am. Period. Regardless as to whether I gain 50 pounds tomorrow, if I lose 50 pounds tomorrow, if, whatever. And of course, I am a human being, right? So I'm going to feel a way about it. But I have done the work enough to know that I am still worthy. I am still lovable. I am still an amazing person outside of whatever happens with my weight. And again, I just use weight because that's my thing. You can apply that to whatever your thing is. So the purpose of me, just sharing my journey and the things that I did, is that I hope that you guys kind of take that and I hope that it encourages you to go on your own journey, because even though it is work, and I think mental work is a lot more taxing than physical work. Like, you can work out and all that kind of stuff, but that mental work is what really is hard. At least for me, it was hard. Because honestly, I never really had to do mental work before, and I didn't even know kind of what that looked like, what all that entailed, why it was important, but it really is. And I can honestly say that lack of confidence spills over into every other area of your life. If you guys saw, there's a girl chat that I did a while ago, that a lot of people still find and watch, where I talked about a relationship that I had when I was in college. I was, I think, 18 or 19 years old, and I just pretty much let this guy run over me because of my lack of self-confidence. You know, when you don't believe in yourself, when you don't think that you're beautiful, worthy, loved, all of the things, when you don't have confidence, you literally, it spills over into every other area of your life a lot of times. And for me, it did. I look back, and I didn't realize it at the time, but I look back and just realized, like, man, I accepted so much BS in relationships, not just romantic, but friendships and all of that kind of stuff, because I had lack of confidence. I didn't feel like I was worthy or deserving of more. I didn't feel like I was worthy of deserving of someone treating me right. I didn't feel like I was worthy or deserving of someone treating me the way I wanted to be treated and the way I deserved to be. And I just accepted so much BS. Even business-wise, there's some things that I did not go after because I didn't feel confident enough. And I can honestly say, since I've worked on my confidence, just personally, it has spilled over into my relationships. Again, both romantic, platonic relationships. It has spilled over into business. It has spilled over just into my life as a whole. So I highly encourage you guys, if you have not taken a self-love confidence journey, you should do so. It is so worth it. All right, my camera cut off and I don't know where it cut off at. So I'm gonna go back a little bit and hope that I can piece this together. But if you are struggling with where to start as far as your self-love and self-confidence journey, I would highly recommend to seek therapy. I wish that therapy was a thing or was more prevalent, or I knew about it, I should say. I'm not gonna say it wasn't a thing, but I wish that I knew about it during my journey. I definitely think it would have helped. But I would highly encourage you to seek therapy, find a therapist near you. I hear a lot of people talk about BetterHelp, which is, I think, virtual therapy online. Also, I found my therapist through therapyforblackgirls.com. You can just go on their website and type in your location, then it will bring up different therapists in your area. And then I'm sure also, if you have insurance, you can go, if your insurance covers therapy, which I think most of them do, you can kind of go on there and find someone who accepts your insurance as well. But I know BetterHelp is a very affordable option if you do have to pay out of pocket. So I would highly recommend to check that out. And then also, there's a lot of people who are sponsored by BetterHelp. So if you can get on there and find you a discount code or something, girl, I would say to do so. Also, I think I said this, I did find my therapist on Therapy for Black Girls. Highly recommend that. You can just type in your zip code and it will bring up different therapists in your area. And then you can search by if you prefer male, female, whatever issues that you want to deal with. It doesn't have to be confidence. It can be anything. Relationships. They give, if you have a gender preference, if you have a religion preference, if you have a sexual preference, if you have any kind of preferences, you can put that in there and then they will bring up different therapists in your area. Also, again, if you're a woman of faith, I would highly recommend to get in scripture and see what God says about you, or whatever your religious preference is. If you are a person who believes in a higher power, I would highly recommend to get in your word or your whatever that thing is for you and find out what your creator says about you, because even to this day I still daily quote scripture over myself, over my daughter, because God's word is what we live off of. I would also highly recommend for you to write down 5 things that you like about yourself that are not physical. Okay. And again, this is if your lack of confidence comes from something physical. I'm just assuming that most of ours, if you're here, mostly it may be weight, but it may not be. So if it's physical, I would say to write down 5 things that you like about yourself that are not physical things. So it could be something about your personality. It could be something about, maybe your accomplishments, just something that's not physical, so that you can kind of get in the mindset of, you know what, I am more than just my looks. This is not everything. This is not all that I am. And then also, I would say if you're able to write down 5 things that are physical that you like about yourself, whatever that may be, and lean into that. Because even now, contrary to whatever, people may believe, I definitely have my days, my moments, my times where I don't feel my best. Even in this space, it's days where I'm just like, you know, why am I here? When I say here, not here on earth, here as far as socials and everything, like, why am I here? You know, there's more beautiful people, or people that look better, or people that can create better, or that have better content than I do. And I still have to go back and say, okay, you know, this is what I feel God has called me to do in this time. This is, you know, I have to go back to my affirmations and my reason for being here. And I feel like that applies to confidence as well. When I receive messages about confidence or lack thereof, it really hits me here because I know how that feels. And I just really, you know, I mean, when I read it, I really just feel like, wish that I could come give you a virtual hug. You know what I'm saying? But I can't. But what I can do is just share my journey and hope that it helps and encourages you to go on your own journey. And then outside of that, what I will tell you is that you are beautiful. You are worthy just as you are today. And I say just as you are today, meaning you don't have to change a thing to be beautiful, to be worthy, to be loved. You are that already. Okay? Whether you feel like it or not, our feelings and emotions are fleeting. They can be changed, but you are. The difference is just that you have to actually believe it. And so that's why I feel like a self-love and self-confidence journey is key, vital, and important, because what you think is what you're going to believe. And you can always change your thoughts. You can always challenge your thoughts. You can always work on that. Again, I feel like thought work and mind work is like more work than anything, but it is so worth it. All right, babes, I hope that this video was helpful for you guys. If you take nothing else from this video, I just want you to know that you are beautiful, you are worthy, and you are loved just as you are today. If nobody else has told you that, please know that I say it and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And I just pray that by me sharing my journey, that you know, number one, that you're not alone, because we all go through this. We all have experienced or are experiencing lack of self-confidence for whatever reason. And number two, that it can change. You know, our thoughts are what control our emotions and feelings anyway, and you can change your thoughts. It is work, it is hard, it is a journey and an ongoing process, but it is absolutely possible. And I just want you to know that, like I said, number one, you're not alone, and number two, it is possible. And I just hope and pray that by me sharing my journey and how I overcame it and continue to overcome it, because again, I have my days and moments, I just hope that I hope and pray that it does help inspire you to get on your journey for yourself. So please leave a comment down below and let me know if you did what I told you to do, which is, or what I asked you to do if you needed to, which is to write down 5 things non-physical that you love about yourself and 5 things physical that you love about yourself. Now, you don't have to drop, you know, your the things that you wrote down below. That's for your personal business and your journey, girl. I just want to know that you did it, and again, I hope and pray that it was helpful. Also, in the description box, I'm going to add some scriptures that I use. Again, if you are a Christian woman, if you believe in God, I just want to drop some scriptures down below that I use to help me know what God says about me, because I promise you, if you're a woman of faith and you believe what God says, that will help you as well. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope and pray that this helps, and I'll see you in the next Girl Chat video. Bye.